And we are live, boys and girls. Um, can't I can't I don't know what's going on. There we go. So I'm now going to tell this live event that we are currently in that we are streaming live. So, how's it going, boys?
Good. How are you?
I am opening up the live control room for our stream because that's how good we are. Broadcast alert. Done. Here's the watch page. This mother is going to work now. Public. Publish. Announced. Boom.
Okay.
Boom.
All right. So does that mean we
that's
start?
all we have to do? Apparently. Oh no! You're wanting me to start a new stream?
Abort. Abort. Abort.
What?
Danger, Will Robinson. Danger.
Hang on. Public save. Here we go. There we go. All right. So this is apparently live. No. Oh wait. Really?
We'll be live next week.
Jesus Christ. I don't know why. Okay, it's set to public, but it's still telling me it's private.
We're not getting off to a very good start here for our thing.
Shut up.
Well, yeah.
Thank you for tuning in and listening to us go, huh? What's...
Yeah. Technical difficulty.
What?
Right. So, Alan, what's going on the island these days? It's still smoky.
No, the smoke is cleared.
Right.
We got a small bit of rain, and so it's mostly cleared up, at least down here. I don't know up Dave's way. I mean, it may still be completely engulfed.
I don't know. I think this is live. We're about to find out. Yeah, I think we're live. I think we are. It's just a little confusing.
Okay.
They are not quite.
Because you do realize that we can't edit all this stuff out.
I know. That's okay. That's cool because you know what?
The beauty of it.
That's how people learn.
Welcome to our throwaway episode, everybody.
Yeah, welcome to episode 22 of the Crafty Boys. We've entitled this one as, apparently I titled it wrong, Oh Black Betty, Bam Badam, but apparently it's actually what? It's
Ramalam.
Ramalam.
It's on the license plate on the truck.
So this is the beer we're talking about this week. It's called the Black Betty. It is a Blackberry Saison, is that right?
Yes.
And it's done by a place called Vancouver Island Brewing. And yeah, so I am quite happy to be revisiting Victoria-based beers with Alan, Dave, and half of Locke's head. So,
Which half?
we could only see like the part of the mustache up.
Oh, there we go. Is that better?
That's better. That's way better.
Nice.
That's kind of awesome, actually, because I was like looking at it, was like I saw full face, and then just like this bit of a head.
Remember that show, Home Improvement, with the neighbor, and you don't only see like from the nose up over the fence?
Yeah.
That's what Lockhart basically is. He's like the neighbor guy. You only see
like,
the nose up.
Hey everybody.
Hey neighbor. I can't hear you, Shane.
Ow! Yeah, you're right. I can't be heard because I'm not talking to the microphone, which is fine. For a lot of things I do. So anyway, how's your week been, guys? Anything cool? Anything of note? We're apparently getting a tour of Locke's
Well,
dad's
aside
house.
from me being in fucking in Ontario.
How is Ontario? Is it sweaty and horrible, or what?
Well, it's actually not too bad. I mean, it is more humid here than it is out west. That's for sure. Yeah, I mean, so far, most of the places I've been hanging out have been pretty air conditioned, so I'm not doing so badly. But
now, I actually have a request. You have two incredibly gorgeous dogs there. Are they nearby?
no, they're not. Sadly, they're
Ah, darn it.
well, not sadly for them. that's their heaven. They're up at the lake right now, so
Nice. That's pretty awesome because
running around chasing squirrels and
doing things dogs like to do.
Yeah.
That's a pretty nice looking pad you're in there.
Oh no, it's totally adequate.
Adequate. So Locke, do you want to touch quickly on why you're there? You're there for work. You're there for whatever. Like, what's the deal?
Here for work. Basically, just doing my magic with PowerPoint presentations and the like. Just trying to get everybody on board with the good and exciting things that are coming to Rice Lake.
Kick ass.
Next year. And yeah, no. Other than that, getting ready to do a little bit more of the same. Maybe a little bit of contract reading and that kind of stuff. So
Sounds like
Very
fun.
cool.
Yeah, keeping me occupied. My sister's about to take off with her family to Hawaii, so I'm gonna be hanging out with them tomorrow. That'll be fun. Yeah, my niece and nephew are like 3 and 5 respectively.
Oh, wow.
3 and 5. Wow, I'm feeling old. So
You look old.
Yeah.
yeah, thanks for that. You guys are so supportive, so incredibly supportive. So, what about you, Dave? Alan, what have you guys been up to? Like, Locke's busy being amazing over there. What have you guys been up to this past week?
Well, I just finished actually coaching or managing a Little League team that was in the district tournaments for District 7 here in Victoria.
Did you win?
We won a couple of games. We ended up losing in the semifinals to Les Ritz, and Les Ritz ended up losing in the final to Beacon Hill, and Beacon Hill will go on to the BC Championships. And if they make it through that, then they go on to the Canadians, the Nationals. And if they get through that, then they'll represent Canada at the Little League World Series in wherever
Wherever that happens.
Pennsylvania, I think it is.
That's what. Hey, that's
Yeah,
respectable.
I mean,
Where-
it's kind of
Little
cool.
League World Series is in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, it's in Williamsport.
Ah,
Williamsport, Pennsylvania, a town full of scum and villainy. I think apparently that's what I was told.
Yeah.
Have you guys? Sorry, Dave. You're not teaching Little League. You're not in Toronto. So what have you been doing up there in the wilds of the Comox Valley?
I continue to work too much, and
apparently disappear into the ether. Oh, there you go.
yeah, I thought you guys might find this of some kind of interest. This is one of the things I got for my birthday.
Ooh.
Oh, that's right. I totally forgot. By the way, on Sunday was Dave's birthday, and I called him, but he didn't answer, so I didn't get to leave him his.
I saw nothing, dude.
That's okay. Alan and I were
I
busy
swear.
running around because my family was in town as well for my mom's birthday and stuff. So
I was figuring as much.
So everyone together, 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Dave. Happy birthday to you. Yeah, so Dave turned 14 this year.
That's awesome.
So he's advancing. We're gonna have to talk to him about sex and the birds and the bees and stuff very soon. So
Yes.
It's very very hard. I know, Dave. But
Let's do it. No
Must
time
be-
like the present.
so small and stuff.
What?
What?
I heard it.
What?
There you go, boys. So back to so that was Dave's birthday last Sunday. So if you guys got him any presents, just send them his way. I don't know what his address is, so just send them anywhere. So this week's beer is this beer right here in the glass. It is the Blackberry Saison from Vancouver Island Brewing. Now, I've already started drinking this. So what about you guys? I know, Locke, you don't have it, but what about you two?
I haven't started drinking it yet because I waited to do the pour.
Sorry, I
apparently
got too excited. Locke showed up, and I just lost all time.
Okay,
track.
since you guys have already poured it, this seems kind of. Like
I didn't pour it on camera, so it's your turn to pour it on camera.
We need to have a proper on-camera pour.
Proper on-camera pour.
All right, here we go.
Let's make it happen.
Golden hued. Or no, I guess it's amber hued.
Yeah, it's sort of an amber color. Yes. It's like a very light amber. And I got a very small head on it, which is nice. It was actually not terrible. Dave, show us your glass.
I actually had better head than that.
Yeah, actually,
it vaporizes pretty quick.
You know what? I've had this. I've had this a few times. I've never actually poured it into a glass before. I've always drunk it right out of the can. So I've never really paid attention to the head on it. But this is a pretty weak head.
Now, Locke, have you had this beer before?
That one, no. I don't think I have.
I mean, it's very light. I mean, you could tell it's touched blackberries at some point during the process. So that's not a lie. Unlike a couple of the beers we've had recently that say, yes, we're fruity and everything, and you drink it and it's like, this does not taste like any fruit I've ever heard of or ever experienced. What about anybody else there? Have you got what sort of experience? Are you reliving childhood memories right now from running around in blackberry bushes and stuff like that, or no? Am I the only one?
I never ran around in blackberry
bush. I hope not. No, I sure as hell didn't either.
All right, then. I guess we're not going to experience any childhood memories.
I totally did the blackberry bush thing, but I don't have that beer with me, so.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the reason I think of it because one of the things I did as a kid growing up in Victoria was every year when the blackberries started coming out, so every summer, sort of late June, early January, early July, the blackberries, of course, are all starting to ripen around that time, so you're starting to compete with all the birds and stuff. So we used to go out really. Probably right after school ended, right after I got out of school, we'd go out with a bunch of ice cream buckets. Those sort of, I'm not sure how many liters they are, but the ones you get from like Island Farms.
Yeah.
They're 4s, aren't they?
Are they 4 liter? Probably. That sounds right. So yeah, you'd go running around looking for just basically a haul of blackberries, and of course, living along Colquitt's Creek there, I mean, you couldn't.
I was just going to say, you guys must have had shitloads behind your house.
Yeah, because we would just step out the back fence and you'd be right there in Blackberry Land, and actually right across the street from us here, a couple lots over from Red Truck Brewery, there's a lot of blackberry bushes right along the edges of the dog park. So Allison went out there yesterday and got a lot of slivers in her fingers, but. And collected a couple buckets worth, so which we have cleaned and will be soaking by the end of this week. We'll be soaking in vodka for the end of the year experience,
nice.
Which we did last year, and it turned out incredibly way better than we thought. So we wish for a repeat.
The thing that I find interesting about blackberries. Okay, so raspberries have thorns, but raspberry thorns are sort of like, okay, I know I've got sweet berries, but don't eat me. You don't want to chew on me. I have thorns, right? That's sort of what a blackberry bush is all about, right? or like rather a raspberry bush is all about. That's what a raspberry bush is about. A blackberry bush, the thorns on a blackberry bush are not like raspberry bush thorns. Those are a whole other order of thorns. That's like, come here, little critter, I've got yummy berries. You want to get close and taste these yummy, yummy berries. Oh, what, you're stuck? Oh, just wriggle around a little. There we go. Self-fertilizing.
Makes me think of that scene from Crocodile Dundee where he gets into the knife fight and he says, "That's not a knife." Well, that's a knife. That's the blackberry bush, man.
So are you saying blackberries are like the jerks of the berries?
Yeah,
pretty much. I swear blackberry bushes want to kill human beings.
They're one of the undocumented carnivorous plants.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, some friends of ours have a cabin on Keats Island, which is an island just to the northwest slightly of Bowen, and they are constantly every year having to destroy large swaths of blackberry bushes because they are hard to kill. You have to dig the roots up and all kinds of stuff, but even if you do that, you may not see the other roots that have been put down and stuff, so next year you leave it for a few months and they suddenly, and they grow really fast. Yeah. Like across the street too, every so often there's a bunch of blackberry bushes that have been up against this fence right along the edge of the sidewalk, and every year they would just come by with a buzzer thing and they would sort of cut them all down, but then they never really went after the roots until just this year, which I thought was fascinating. They actually finally went and they dug them out, and I must have hit them with some horribly potent herbicide too. So, but yeah, it was amazing because these things they just don't quit. They want to hurt you, and they want to do it. They just don't want to grab onto you and kind of hurt you a little bit. And
but they have really good berries.
Yeah, they just want to hold on to you and then embrace you and then make love to you with their thorns and until you bleed out. I mean,
self-fertilizing. Yeah.
That's pretty much it. You know, I remember years and years ago going through sort of blackberry areas, trying to get sort of the hard-to-reach blackberries, and having to fight off a bunch of rats that were living in they were just walking along the berry bushes, and that was terrifying because I had to deal with killer bushes as well as rats that probably wanted nothing to do with me, but at the time I thought they were trying to eat me. I must have been 10 or something. So.
Okay, right. Now that's some context here.
Yeah, this was just last week. So yeah,
rats! They're trying to eat me.
Oh shit! Run!
New York rats.
Okay. So back to the beer. What do we think? This is the Black Betty.
I am liking this one. I wasn't sure what I would think about it because we had such bad luck with the last few beers that claimed to be that sort of Saison fruit sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I was a little hesitant to love it right away.
It's pretty refreshing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's actually not bad. It's not huge in alcohol content. It's just sort of a very sort of kick back, relax. You could probably have a couple of these and not feel completely and utterly obliterated later on. What did you just open, Locke? I just saw you had a can briefly there.
So now I really am in Ontario. This is Steam Whistle.
Oh, okay. Steam Whistle, yeah. Actually, weren't we talking about doing a Steam Whistle episode at some point?
We did. We did last week, didn't we?
Did we do it last week?
Did we?
I thought last week was the corn hops was last week.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, right.
Last week, yeah.
Oh, right. That was a good beer.
Steam Whistle as in the beer, Steam Whistle.
Yeah. Steam Whistle. Yeah. We had a Steam Whistle made beer, but not Steam Whistle.
No, that was the Tin Whistle.
Oh, Tin Whistle. Tin Whistle's up north in BC, right? Sorry, there we go. Thank you. Yeah. So no, we haven't done Steam Whistle, which by the way I like. I was introduced to Steam Whistle, 2011, when I was in Ottawa for a conference, and that was pretty much the beer you had to drink because it was everywhere.
Yeah.
And where is it brewed?
Which beer? Oh,
Is it
Steve
like a Toronto brew? Is it like somewhere
Steve
deep
was
north
Toronto.
Ontario?
Yeah.
Okay. So I give it a thumbs
yeah,
up. So I'll have to do an episode about it. But back to the Blackberry.
yeah. So I mean, I really like it. It's if you're like at a summer afternoon party or something, like a pool party, this is like the beer. You know, sitting on the patio or something.
What would this go well with?
I don't know that it would really go well with like a meal or anything. Like I wouldn't have it with dinner. I would have it if you wanted to drink beer, have a few. You know, without getting like completely plastered or anything, or without getting stupid. And it was a hot summer day. I'd probably go for something like this.
Yeah.
In fact, the reason why I tried it in the first place was because it was a hot summer day one time, and I saw some chick wearing a shirt with this on it. I'm like, oh, hey, she looks good in that shirt. The beer, the beer must be good too. So I went out and got it, and it was good. I really liked it.
Ladies and gentlemen, a perfect example of how the male brain
does
functions.
advertising work on you generally?
Huh?
In just general terms, does beer
Okay, Lockhart, you sound like a pylon. Yes, it. No, it doesn't usually work on me like that, but I guess.
Locke, so we're stickling because your internet connection just completely went wonky for a little bit there. It sounded like you were
a machine.
a machine. You're like a machine man.
You still do.
Still happening, which is kind of weird.
Okay, Lockhart's in the timeout corner.
No.
All right,
Yeah,
moving
I'm not
along.
the only one who's experiencing this. This is like when Locke was all, completely just, had that sort of godlike face in the dark.
Yeah.
And it was repeated several times across the bottom of the screen. I don't know. It sounds like something just started up on your end, Locke, and it's taking over the bandwidth. But anyway, yeah. So I would agree, actually, Alan. I would definitely have noticed a girl dressed in this particular logo.
Yeah, with like the hot looking truck on it, and it says Ramalam on it, which I wonder if that's advice.
Where does it say Ramalam?
On the license plate.
How can you read that frickin' license plate?
I have glasses.
And he has eyeballs? What do you mean, how can he read it? What's wrong with you?
Ramalam. What do you think that means? Is that like some sort of advice?
Oh, Black Betty, Ramalam. Although I thought it was Bamalam, so I screwed that up. Bam,
Yeah, you did.
Bam da dam. Oh, bam da bam. So that's okay. I don't know why, to be honest. But that's okay. Because Locke is completely frozen, by the way. Just pointing that out. Not that anyone cares. But he's totally frozen now. It's like he's doing the monkey thing. So I think I'm not sure if he's connected anymore, come to think of it.
Probably not.
That's okay.
All right, we'll move along.
When he comes back, he'll pop up and say something completely not connected to what we're talking about. So he's gone. He disconnected. So maybe he'll come back. So you guys had a good week, and we are all in agreement that this beer is recommended. We should actually make a recommended beer list. That way,
I think so.
I think we can definitely agree on that.
And I'm not sure that this is a seasonal, so I think this one's going to be available year-round.
Well, it is in their seasonal list on their website.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, but I don't. But don't recall ever not seeing this. Not that I've looked for it, granted, but
It's been around for a while.
I have seen this a few times, so it maybe I just noticed it during the seasonal time. I mean, it's definitely a summer beer. It's definitely something where you drink it at a barbecue or hanging out alone in your house by yourself. Which is come to think of it, now that I've said it out loud, is kind of sad. That's okay.
Like
That's what Dave does.
What?
I was not slandering you at all.
Oh.
Hey, so while we're talking about beer,
you're on the right podcast for that, Alan.
Yeah,
could you please give us a beer education?
Well, no, I have a bit of a question. What do you guys think about the Crafty boys making their own brew?
Holy shit. That has got to be the best idea I've ever heard. It's funny you mention that. Mainly because I've just recently collected a bunch of bottles. Those big brown ones with the ceramic cap things that are attached.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of those. And we were kind of... The building where I live, we actually have like a loosely knit together group of people that they call themselves the crafters of Artec. But it's basically just people sharing knowledge about brewing different types of things. Some people do distilling on their oven, like on the top of the oven. They got like a special stainless steel thing. The booze sits in the bottom, and it distills, and it has these pipes that come out the top. But there's also the people that make their own beer in 2-liter bottles, nonetheless, which is hilarious and tasty, and it just knocks you on your ass, to be honest. So there's lots of that kind of stuff. Hey, Locke is back! Yay, Locke! We were just talking about Alan has proposed that the Crafty boys brew their own beer.
Ooh. There's a
to which I'm agreeing, and I was just mentioning that we have a bunch of these bottles with the ceramic caps on them. So
I have a bunch here too.
So I'm fully behind this. Now, if we were to make our own beer, what kind of beer would we start with? What's a good beer to sort of start by brewing?
Well, I mean, I think we have to look at the seasons that are coming up. So you brew for what season is maybe, say, 3 months away or even 4 months away. So we're looking at fall and wintry kinds of beers. So I would propose that we put together a stout of some kind.
So what is a fall beer?
Well, I mean, immediately you think of like pumpkin and stuff like that. Now, I'm not suggesting that we make a pumpkin ale or anything like that, but something that's got a little bit more spice to it. It's got a little bit more meat to it. So that's why I'm thinking of like a heavier beer, like a stout, and then we can add some kind of flavorings or adjuncts to it, whatever. If we want to make a chocolate stout, we can do that. Or if we want to make a coffee stout, we can do that. Or just a regular stout, we can do that as well.
Cool.
Locke, any
suggestions?
The idea of pumpkin, though.
Yeah?
Yeah, pumpkin is actually not a terrible idea, because if we were to, say, start this week and started cooking on, say, Friday, it's what? What's an average beer length of time? Again, it depends on the type of beer, but essentially, how long would you
beer? Well, generally, what you'd do is you would you do you make your wort, and then you put it in your primary for maybe, say, 3 or 4 days, and then you ditch your primary and shift it to your secondary, where you'd probably let it sit for about a month. Then after that, you can shift it all to bottles and cap them and let it sit for probably another 3 weeks. And then after that, maybe just let it sit another 2 weeks, and then it should be good.
So we're talking like beginning of October.
It's probably like about a 2-month process, I'd say.
That makes sense. That's about right. Locke, what kind of beer would you want to make?
I mean, a stout's totally in range. I could see doing that. I mean, what were the first things that came to my mind? Well, lambic. Yeah, I don't know if we're making a lambic.
Isn't the lambic the ones that would like kill the average homebrewer? Is that the one? where you basically you have the beer and then it explodes in your face and kills you? Is that one of those ones? I remember. Didn't you say that last week?
I don't know if I don't think it would kill you. It might explode.
I think Alan had an explosive.
We can do a stout. I don't have a problem with that.
So what are we saying? This is the TNT of beers here. It's got to be handled.
Well, I'm just saying that the yeast involved sometimes get a little volatile, right? You get that with older style beers. But yeah, I mean, no, we can do a stout. Let's do that.
Okay.
Cool.
The trick is when to add the pumpkin, because what you're doing with the pumpkin, there's sugars that are in the pumpkin, and that's going to interact with the yeast, and that's going to be volatile.
Yeah.
So you have to add it at the right time, so that you probably add it for your secondary, I would think. But it depends on the recipe that we choose to go with. So what you do is you brew your stout wort, put it into your primary with your yeast, let it sit for a few days, and get rid of the krausen, and then shift it to your secondary, and that's where you'll put the pumpkin in.
Mm.
Now, what kind of pumpkin would you add? I'm assuming you can buy like pumpkin that's been prepped for brewing, or would you just like grab a pumpkin, slice the mother to death, and then throw it in?
No, you'd probably get the pumpkin puree from the baking aisle at the grocery store.
Oh yeah, like okay. No, yeah, I give that to my dogs when they're having issues.
Oh.
With their butts. It's a really good. If you have a dog who is.
All right,
You have a dog. You've never had that experience?
No.
So Blackberry.
Anyway, Blackberry beer.
Yes. So a pumpkin stout looks like is going to be the Crafty Boys' first foray into creating their own beer.
That is a bloody good idea.
And you know what we could do if it's actually a really good brew, we could approach like an established brewery and do like a cross promotional thing.
It's true.
And start making money.
I mean, that's a thought. Yeah, we could try to do that.
You said the magic words.
Beer making. Brew.
This time next year, we are going to be beer magnets.
That's right. We are going to attract
I'm already
the
a beer
biggest beer-making stars.
We're gonna be doing this podcast every Wednesday night, and we're gonna be wearing suits, and we're gonna have, I'm gonna have somebody here with one of those big palm leaves,
waving,
fanning me, and then another arm's gonna come in with a bunch of grapes.
Pretend I have a suit on.
Yeah.
So, Alan, I certainly agree that the numbers you provided at our meeting today are well detailed and in the plus area of the spreadsheet. David, I would really like it if you would be able to provide me with some stellar information about what you think our sales projections are going to be for the next 6 months. Our beer is going astronomical, and I do believe that, like the New Horizons visitor to the planet, I said planet of Pluto, is something that we should probably take advantage of, considering by this time next year our beer will be so incredibly planetary that we will be giving it to people on the moon. Locke, I do believe that we need to review some contracts, and I think we need to make sure that our purchase of said moon will be going through without any bumps or hitches.
Wow.
Nice.
All
Yes.
hail
Yes.
the Crafty Boys brew.
Indeed. Nicely
Um,
done. Hey, on a slightly serious note, but an interesting kind of cool and weird note, have you guys heard of the Ninkasi brew that was done just a few months ago? Unfortunately, I cannot remember. Okay, Alan, you're shaking your head. Give me the name, because I can't remember.
Was it the Out of This World one?
Yeah, they sent up hops.
No, it was the yeast.
Was it
It was
yeast?
ground control.
Yes, ground control.
Ninkasi ground control.
Yes. Okay, so this fucking thing is $18 a freaking
No
bottle.
way.
I'm pretty sure that's what I saw at my Cascadia, $18. But I am so tempted to try it, just because it's so insane.
But why? I mean, okay, the yeast, yes, has been in orbit around the Earth.
Yeah.
How does that affect it? I mean, seriously.
It affects it about as much as having a cat poop out a coffee bean that it ate.
Yeah, civet cats. Yeah.
I would imagine that would actually do quite a bit to the coffee bean.
That's a civet cat, not a cat. Civet cats don't look like house cats. They're different. They look more like lemurs or something.
Yeah, but I think you guys are missing the point. Anything that ingests something and then craps it out makes that thing way less appetizing. This yeast has just been at a really high, altitude. That's it.
It's been in the vacuum of space. Now here's the thing: the yeast has been exposed to, or it's been in orbit, and to me that's not a big deal.
No.
I think it would be a far greater deal if you had taken the yeast, launched it into orbit, opened the capsule, and just sprinkled it out into the vacuum of space, and then sucked it back into some sort of receptacle, and then brought it back to Earth. And would it work? Probably not. It probably would die. But
Jake,
still.
you know what happened when they tried that, right?
Tell me more. I need to be educated.
No. They tried that, and it started to mutate quite aggressively. The thing with yeast in zero gravity is it takes on a whole new character, and then when it returns to Earth, it starts taking on the biological characteristics of other species, and it can to the extent that it can take over entire organisms and mimic them so effectively that it can walk around, say, in the Antarctic and just completely take over.
That terrifies me. I really think that we should. We as a group of people who are interested in beer.
Of course,
you just described a sci-fi show. That's awesome.
I mean, you tell me you haven't seen The Thing.
I have not seen The Thing, but I've read The Thing.
Sorry, pardon me. Wait, hold on, Locke. Hold on. Did you just say, Dave, you've never seen The Thing?
Nope.
Huh? Dude.
Sorry, continue, Locke, because right now I am mentally pegging Dave lower on my friendship scale.
Yeah, well. Yeah, no, like, Carpenter is the king, man. Like, has Carpenter ever done King? That'd be an interesting team up. Something written by King, directed by Carpenter. Has that ever happened?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Huh.
Probably would be a good pairing.
So yeah, I mean, space yeast, questionable. Yeah? Do we agree? Questionable?
Yes.
Yeah.
Questionable.
Huh.
But it's probably less of a legal hassle getting that yeast into space than it is getting beer back and forth across this country.
True.
It is easier to import beer from Europe to Ontario than it is to import beer from British Columbia. Try that on.
That is so stupid.
Weird.
I mean, it's kind of like trying to say that I can watch The Thing less often than watching Lake Placid starring William Shatner, filmed at Lake Shawnigan. Mic drop,
okay.
mic drop, boom.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So just here's some actual beer information. This is beer news, such as it is, for the show that is ostensibly about beer, amongst other things. Keep Six Imports are apparently the people who are moving House Sound all the way across the country and successfully into Ontario. It's rare that you see Canadian products, in a province other than one in which it was brewed. But House managed.
Now, isn't Blue Buck available in Ontario?
Blue Buck might be. I don't. The point being, it's an enormous hassle to do, and Keep Six Imports are apparently people who do this. Now, I went to look and find out a little bit more about Keep Six Imports by going to keep6imports.com, and what it says, and I thank them for this very useful message, is coming soon.
We'll be importing our website soon enough. It's being built in BC, and we live in Prince Edward Island. Or something. I find that being able... just getting this one beer was a bit of a hassle, much like some of the others. But a hassle in such a way where I learned very quickly just how the BC Liquor Board here works with their stores. And I was able to look it up online, but the stock changes so often that if they sell out of something, they don't necessarily sell out all of it. But if they don't, they move it to a different store to stockpile it in certain locations or something, which makes kind of sense, because if some beer is really popular in one area of the city, I suppose why not? But Allison went to yesterday to 3 beer stores trying to find the Blackberry, and of the 2 stores that the day before had it, they no longer had it, so I had to actually go searching again today to find it. And I find it very strange that we're having we've had discussions about how
I agree that it's embarrassing that you should have trouble finding Blackberry in Canada.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of weird. Like, it's very, very strange. And I certainly hope that at some point I can understand how the liquor stores move their product around. But to me, this particular one is a brew that's made just across the water in Victoria, should in theory be available here, is available here, but I would look one day, and then I would actually go to the store the next, and it wasn't there. It had been moved, or it was gone, or sold out, or whatever. But I just found it really weird that in less than 24 hours, an entire stock of beer would just be gone. And one of them actually had... Oh, sorry?
Sorry, a couple months ago, we did a show where we all drank something different from Russell. Russell Brewing. And I went to my local place here and found the beer that I was going to have. I had the Voodoo Donut. And I got like the second to last bottle on the shelf. And they had tons of the Sriracha one. They had like about 14 bottles. 2 days later, I went back. They had none of the Sriracha. And they had about 20 bottles of the Voodoo Donut.
Yeah, I don't quite understand
How does that happen in 2 days?
I don't know. That's so incredibly odd. Like,
look, let me tell you something realistic about working at a liquor store. Is sometimes there are boxes in the back that you haven't got to yet because you were up front flirting with the redhead that came in that that anyway. It's like it's that way.
Was she wearing a Black Betty T-shirt?
There aren't always good reasons.
Well, no, that's true. The other thing.
Yeah, but
I don't know. I just think it's kind of, I don't know, because it happens so often. There's just something about liquor stores that I don't get. Now, granted, you worked at a private liquor store,
Yeah.
And these are I'm talking specifically about the liquor board or the liquor board run ones because they are the ones that I normally go to. I mean, I go to Cold Beer and Wine here on Main Street, a few blocks from us, but that's because I want it now and I'm going to consume it now. If there's something I don't necessarily want to consume right away, then I'll go to the BC liquor store because they're not kept in fridges and I can just throw it in my fridge and I can enjoy it whenever I want. But they're also slightly cheaper than private stores. So, but again, do they operate the same way? Probably, I would think. So who knows?
They're owned by the government. They don't operate the same way.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is very true. This is very true. So, overall, thumbs up for the beer this week. I have to say that the Black Betty, I'm glad I bought a 6-pack of it because you can't buy it any other way,
way
really.
You can get it.
Exactly. But it's something I will enjoy tomorrow as well, and maybe the day after, because it's so light. You just drink it and you're happy. Like, Dave, you're looking so incredibly satisfied, sir.
Yes, actually, this is quite tasty. I really like it. It is
How many
nice
have you
and light.
had now?
I like that. Oh, I've only had the one.
Oh, okay. Just
I'm
checking.
light. I don't go heavy. This is, well, it's a little more than standard, I would say, because it's 5.5, right? I consider standard like 5,
Yeah, okay.
right?
That's fair to say.
But
Alan, your review?
and especially the first couple of swigs for me, I thought were amazing because you really tasted the blackberries.
Yeah.
It kind of goes away after you drank it a bit. I don't know if you felt that, but
That's the alcohol killing you. Alan, what is your sort of final word on this beer for the week?
I really enjoy it. I mean, I picked it for this week, and I had already had it, so I knew what I was expecting.
I knew what I was getting into.
Right, but yeah, I really enjoy it. If it's available in your area, I recommend picking it up and having a good a good drink with it. Share it with your friends. It's a gooder.
Now, Locke, I know you didn't have it, but I do recall that the Steam Whistle is kind of a lightish beer. Is that right?
It was.
But it's all gone now.
I'm on a Moosehead now. This is so Ontario, like.
Oh, you've jumped to Moosehead. Okay, all right.
Yeah, no, a little bit of each. Yeah, no, I mean, so back when I was playing in a band, Steam Whistle used to sponsor a lot of live music, so there were plenty of shows where I would show up and we weren't making any money, but we would drink for free, as long as we were drinking Steam Whistle. So I've had a few Steam Whistle.
Well, now Moosehead is also from Ontario, right?
Moosehead is also from Ontario, and it's also a lager, and it's also marginally better than
your own urine.
Your poorest Canadian sort of. But I mean, it's basically it is a utterly dull, straight ahead lager. Is the truth.
I actually have a Moosehead story. A number of years ago, there was a restaurant where Alan and I would hang out a lot called the Georgian Dragon. And for years, the Georgian Dragon, we did a lot of theater performances there and all that kind of stuff. But Alan would know this more than I would. But apparently, so when it finally did close, back in, I would say, 2003, 2004-ish, somewhere in there, when the restaurant closed, our friend Terry, who you guys know, said that he went down to the Georgian Dragon for their second to last night or their last night of being open, and they were having kind of a send-off for the staff or something. But you know those big Moosehead wood signs you can get that you see in bars here and there? he said that he went down there on the last night, and they were still open. It was very sparsely populated, and I guess the owner was there talking to the staff or whatever, and he asked the owner or one of the staff members what they were doing with the decor in the restaurant, and they said, well, most of it, I guess, was getting tossed out or whatever. So apparently he went up on the wall and tore the moose head thing off the wall and took it home.
Yes, that is absolutely true.
Were you there for that?
I was not there for that. I heard about it after. I don't think he actually asked anybody what was happening with it. I think he just took it. But I mean, it was
awesome.
It was this gargantuan, like, wood carved thing. I mean, it was huge with like a moose.
What else I can say about them? I do like their branding.
So it looked like that. It looked like the label, but it was this huge carved wooden thing. And he went and took it off the wall and walked off with it.
I'm kind of curious if he still
has it.
I should ask him.
I think he still has it.
So I just talked to him the other day. He should be on this podcast.
He should.
But yeah, so I think that we're all positive about this beer, which is kind of cool because I think last week the corn hops we were very happy about, but I don't think we were happy about the few beers before that. So it kind of makes me happy that we're actually experiencing moments of agreement for the beer itself. Granted, Locke hasn't had it, but that doesn't matter. I very rarely have I seen Locke run into a beer that he didn't like.
Okay. Look, even the ones that I don't like, I'm still thirsty for. So.
Yeah, well, exactly. That's right. That's what I mean. Like, yeah, this beer is crap. I'm gonna finish it off though.
So here it is. Here, this is what it looks like. Look for it in your store and enjoy.
Very cool. Thank you again for watching. We had throughout the episode. This is our very first live streamed episode, and throughout we had, I think, 2 viewers. I don't know who they were. I didn't look, but they were there very briefly and they went away. But that's okay. It's 10:30 at night, and you know, streaming live late at night is usually the lower time. But Locke, when people are not wondering why you're in Ontario, where can they find you online?
Oh yeah. So try Lockie Fulton at Twitter. That's an option.
Cool. And Dave, what about you?
On Twitters, I am the Fool. That's the PHULE. That's how you can find me there.
And Alan, what about you on the tweets?
Oh, I tweet the twats all the time. I'm always tweeting my twat, and they can twat me at Alan, ALAN, M as in, you know, monkey, and then Ford,
Alan
F-O-R-D.
Monkey Ford.
Alan Monkey Ford at. Don't forget the at thing. It doesn't work without the at thing.
That thing is crucial. It's very important to have the at thing.
That's the A with the circle around it.
That's right. Yes. And of course, you can find me at Shane B. That's Shane B. EE. And of course, you can find all of us on Twitter at The Crafty Boys. And of course, we also have a website at thecraftyboys.ca. But it doesn't matter because all of that information is down below this screen. And you will find it all there. All of our Twitter accounts, The Crafty Boys, where you can stalk us online. And we appreciate you guys coming by because we've got so few viewers, but you know what? I don't care because we just do this because we like this stuff. It's very important, and it requires far more discussion because if people don't talk about beer, then you're just going to drink some really crappy booze water, and that's never a good thing.
Actually,
so here we are.
Crappy booze water can work sometimes, but
depends on the company, I guess.
Bye.
Let's not be choosy.